Hi everyone, this is the Focus Spender, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how I did my 12-month annual budget and how I broke it down into a 12-month cash flow and why I did so. But first, if you're new to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe. My channel is all about getting out of debt, staying out of debt, organizing your finances, and increasing your net worth. And if you'd like to follow me on social media, you can find me at Focus Spender on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Now let's get started. So at the end of 2019, I decided that I wanted to do things a little bit differently this year, and that meant actually creating a 12-month budget to follow. Now, if you don't know much about me, or maybe I have not shared this too much, but I personally do not like being constrained by a budget. I don't like to have to say I'm only going to spend $100 this month on groceries, or I'm only going to spend $50 this month on, getting my hair done. I don't know, whatever it is. I don't like to do that. What I always do to manage my money is that I like to segregate my money when it comes in. So as soon as I get paid, things go to my savings account, things go to my investment accounts, things go to my sinking funds. And then whatever little is left over, I can just spend it however I want. But this year is going to be a little bit different. I'm doing a couple of big things, and I wanted to make sure I properly accounted for them and planned for them at the beginning of the year. So I'm going to be going on a trip with my friends, and I'm going to be getting married. So I have two really large things to pay for, and I want to make sure that I am not taking away from my savings goals or my investment goals because of these two things. So I decided, okay, you need to actually sit down and create an actual 12-month budget. So I'm going to be sharing with you like the budget template that I use and how I broke down the 12 months. But first, let me just go through like how I organize my budget. So the first section of your budget, is your income. So what I did is I put in my income for the year, and I got an increase in the beginning of January, which I don't know what that paycheck is going to look like just yet. So what I did was took my full salary and subtracted out 30%, just assuming I was going to pay 30% in taxes. Then I also added in my projected bonus for the year and subtracted out 50%, because whenever you get a bonus payment and it's calculated correctly, you're going to pay about 50% in taxes. So I did that. I also put a separate line in for my phone reimbursements, because I do get, reimbursed by my job $40 a month for my phone. So I decided to actually add that into my income line to make sure that I file for these reimbursements. So those are my income categories. And then I decided, okay, let me list out all of my expenses. So, you have your fixed expenses, you have your variable expenses. So for my fixed expenses, I just, took my monthly, guaranteed expenses, multiplied them by 12. Those were my fixed expenses for the month. For my variable expenses, I tried to just go through how I've been spending my money, and I wrote down like the different categories: groceries, personal care, household care, hair, vacation, clothes, things like that. I put down all those categories, and then I put down my estimated amounts for the month, like what do I spend on average, knowing that, in order to make this cash flow work, I was going to have to go back in and tweak it. So then the next thing I did is I put down my savings and investments. So for my investments, I put down the maximum for the 401k, and I put down the maximum for the IRA. So the reason why I did it like this, I know a lot of people do their 401k pre-tax. So when they get their paycheck, it's already factored in. When I do my 401k, it is through my job, so it is factored into my paycheck, but it is post-tax. So I figured since it's post-tax, I could put it down on my actual budget. I'm working on this cash flow, and I know that if I need to adjust, like, this month I need to put a little bit less in that 401k account so that I can have more money to save someplace else. And then a few months down the line, I can go back in and add more money. I wanted to just see what that would look like. I also added in my, normal savings, and then my wedding fund savings, because I'm going to need some extra money to pay for this wedding. So once I had that 12-month budget down, I realized, okay, I need to break this down into a cash flow. I wanted to make sure the months where things were tight, where I know I'm going to have to spend extra money, I am saving less and spending more in that category. And the months where I'm going to have more money, like I'm not going to get my bonus over the year. I'm going to get it at a specific point in time. I will be saving a lot more money when I get that bonus because it's going to be more cash into my account. So let me go and show you what this cash flow looks like. Obviously, I'm not using real numbers because I don't need everyone to know exactly how much money I make or spend because that's not safe. So let's look. Okay, so here is my sample 12-month budget and cash flow. On the left-hand side, so these first column B and C, we have my annual budget. So my annual monthly salary, any side income that I expect, my phone reimbursement. Then we have my saving and investing section. So I have 401k at the max, 19,500, IRA 6,500. I have other investing amounts. So this is where if I'm doing Betterment or M1 Finance, if you're doing Acorns, whatever you're doing, you can plug those numbers into here. And then I have my savings. And then if I did a second savings, then I could just type that into there. So savings too. And then I have my fixed expenses. I personally don't have a lot of fixed expenses, which is good, but I have extra categories to add. So some of these numbers are made up. So then I have like rent, car insurance, internet, water, electricity, cell phone, etc. Then down below is the variable expenses. So like eating out, makeup, groceries, etc. And then down below here is the net profit or loss. So obviously you want to make sure when you're doing something like this that you always have a net profit, which means you are spending less than you earn. But when it comes to cash flow, so that's what it for the budget that's important. For the cash flow, that's where you can adjust. Where certain months you need to save more or you need to spend more in certain categories. So you use the cash flow to adjust. So it's always not going to be positive on this bottom line, but the goal here in this row 2 where it says end of month, that's what you always want to be positive. So that shows at the end of the month that you always have enough money to start off your new month. So for my monthly category, my monthly expenses, what I did to start was just divide all of my annual budget line items by 12. So, my monthly salary would be, in this case, $5,000, side income of $250, phone reimbursement of $40 a month. And these are my monthly charges for all of my expenses. Now, let's say, I actually need to save $1,000 in the month of January. I can't just do 416. What I would do is put $1,000 here, and then I can adjust. So if I say I need to save $1,000, now if I don't adjust for the other months, I'm going to end up saving more money than I actually need. So I probably would just adjust these downward. So maybe if I do $1,000 in January, maybe I don't have to do anything in February because I saved enough for those first 2 months. And then I can reduce this to about $300, $250. And now you can see here, I still saved my $5,000, but $1,000 in January, $0 in February, $250 in March, and then it goes back on track after that. Now, what you can notice at the top is that if I save $1,000, I'm not going to have enough money at the end of January to do anything. And I'll also have a deficit in February. So I need to adjust. I can't adjust my fixed expenses, but I can adjust my variable expenses. So I need to reduce my expenses by $567 to make this cash flow work. Okay, so I'm not going to put anything in my vacation fund. All right. I'm not going to get my hair done, so now that's $0. I'm not going to buy clothes. That's $0. Instead of spending about $90 for lunch at work, maybe I'll spend $40. So now I still need to reduce, my budget for eating out, $30. And I'm only going to spend $25 on personal care and makeup. I'm going to buy a little bit less in groceries, so $125. What else could I do? I'm not going to save for gifts, put any money aside for gifts this month. Still need to find $40. Where can I find these $40? I'm going to try and reduce my miscellaneous expenses to about $25. So I have $2.99 left over. All right, I will reduced my eating out to 37. So now that's a penny left over. So basically when I created my 12-month cash flow, it took me a while to create this because I had to go through every single month and make sure that I was accounting for everything. I had to make sure, I said, okay, I know I want to save this amount of money in the next 6 months. Let me plug those numbers in first. Let me go through and figure out where I can reduce money every single month so that I am never in the negative. I hope that makes sense. I will be adding this 12-month cash flow to my budget tool sections of my website. So if you would like to get it, you can get it there. If you have any questions, please be sure to leave it below. You can also email me at info@focusspender.com, or you can leave me a DM on my Instagram page, which is also Focus Spender. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye-bye.